The biggest mistake in 2022 that you made is not sucking more. The reason I really want to share with you guys all this is because it applies to everything you do in life. This can be from playing sports, this can be from business, this can be from you trying to be the bbest at being a dancer, a teacher, a music artist. Anything you do requires you to suck at it before you can get better. And this is, it can come down to the nitty-gritty of stuff you do in life, but it also can be attached to your big dreams and visions. And this isn't any way where I can only talk to entrepreneurs, because this can be anything in your life. Welcome to this video. My name is Isaac Maring. I'm the youngest real estate entrepreneur here. And today I really want to make a point of something that I've heard from other people that really blocks them and stops them from really growing. This is the biggest mistake I might have made in 2022. And I think I might have some other things to share that you probably have made some of the biggest mistakes in this last year by not growing enough. And this video is more about different skills and knowledge and really just sucking more and how that is going to actually benefit you instead of trying to be perfect all the time. As humans, we learn and acquire different knowledge and skills as time goes on and as we put more effort towards them. Now, you may be one of these three things. You either in a position where you really think you're the best at everything and you don't need to get any better. Obviously, this is a horrible position to be in. Or you're in this middle ground position where you really think you don't really care to get better. You got into a point in your life where it just doesn't matter anymore, where you're just living through life and you don't spend every day trying to perfect skills. You don't still learn just because you don't care. And then there's this other third position where you're probably in fear, but you really want to learn and you really want to grow, you want to get better, but the fear of sucking is actually stopping you from getting better. Now, I bet most of you are that third one that I mentioned. And even if you think you're the second or the first, now I want you to take a second to think about this, because I bet you the fear of sucking is actually putting you to those first two positions that I talked about instead of you actually being in those positions. And if you're in that first one, you definitely shouldn't be, because there's always stuff to learn. You're never the best, and someone will surpass you in time if you think you're the best, because you're never going to get better. But first off, I did mention an emotion that stops a lot of us, and that is just fear. So I really wanted to get rid of that first, because a fear is just the emotion and it has nothing to do with the actual logic behind anything, and that's just something you need to put away yourself too. So fear, we're just getting rid of that. It's done. So talking logically, literally sucking is just meaning that you need to do more of that task to get better, even since you were a baby. Do you think when you were a baby you knew how to walk? No, you did it many times before you actually figured out how to walk. When you first rode a bicycle, did you know how to ride a bike as soon as you hopped on? Probably not. And if you did, well then cheers to you. But it took you many times to actually get better at it. When you first drove a car, were you just natural and you were the best? You could be the #1 rated race car driver and you could do anything you want with a car? No, you probably weren't. You were just barely learning. So you had to suck at it before you kept going, and you had to do it many, many times before you actually got comfortable and maybe not the best, but you can actually go drive on the road instead of driving just in a parking lot. So something you should think about of sucking is you really shouldn't think of it as bad or good. It just is. It's not bad that you suck. It's just you do suck. And it's not amazing that you suck. It's just that you suck. So you have to allow yourself to suck before you actually can become perfect. And this is something that I've struggled with too. It's I really want to be perfect at something. I don't want something to be bad. I think a lot of perfectionists struggle with this, with even just getting started in something. They don't take action because they might think they're not good enough and they really need to work on the back end and learn this and learn that before they can actually get started. But the best thing you can do is actually just getting started and realizing that it's okay to be sucking, it's okay to move forward, and it's okay to allow others to see that you suck. In reality, it doesn't matter. You're going to suck in the beginning, and it takes just more reps, takes more doing, takes more trying, takes more looking back at what you sucked at and actually diving deep into the things that you could tweak and get better at, instead of just being afraid of actually doing the thing because you suck at it. You aren't going to ever get better if you just sit back with fear that you're not perfect. And I think this really gets worse as we get older as humans, because as a baby, we really don't care. We don't care what people think, and we don't really care that we suck at something. We just do it. And as we get older, we might think that we have to be better at certain things, especially if you're in an industry for so long. If you're in a certain industry for 20 years and you suck at something that within your industry, and you might feel bad about yourself. You might be like, wow, I've been in this business for 20 years and I still suck at this one thing that maybe someone who just got in the business for 1 year already figured it out and is good at. don't be ashamed of yourself. You can honestly just forgive yourself and understand that, hey, it's okay to suck. Now I know that I suck at this thing. I acknowledge it. I'm gonna work on it and get better. And if you hold a grudge on it and you really dwell on the fact that you suck and you don't do anything about it, you're never gonna get better. Something that also might stop you is the comparison game. And comparison can also involve a little bit of fear. It also adds a little bit of the emotion side of it, but I really want to push away that fear and just look at the comparison thing anyways, because sometimes you might compare yourself with other people and you're just like, man, I can't, this guy's so much better than me. I won't be able to ever get better than him. It doesn't matter anymore. You really just got to focus on yourself. You got to focus on getting better for yourself. And whether this can be you being the best at one thing that they suck at, and then them being the best at one thing that you really suck at. Now, the reason I really just share with you all this is because I've been in the same position as you are. I've sucked at so many things where I just kept myself away from them. I kept myself in this bubble where I didn't do them because I sucked, and I compared myself to someone else where someone else was better, so I just let them do it, and I never actually got better at it myself. I want you to take a second to really think about this next question. Ready? If you in 10 years looked back and you saw that you sucked at something, but then you tried it, got better and better, and then now you're like really good at that thing, do you think you really care that you sucked at it once? Do you think it matters? Does anybody in this world care that 10 years ago you sucked at something if now you're one of the greatest? Let's say you're the 0.0001% now at that skill, but at one time you were the worst. Is anybody gonna care that you sucked in the beginning? No, it doesn't matter. In fact, if you do look at it, the worst case scenario, you're just gonna look back at it and laugh at it and be like, wow, that's so amazing. Like, I literally just sucked at that thing so bad 10 years ago, and now I'm like one of the best. That's the reality of all these different fears and all these different things where you're stopping yourself from showing that you suck at something. And it's really because you think it matters so much when it really doesn't. When you think about in 10 years, nobody's gonna care about this exact moment when you embarrassed yourself in front of people because you went up on stage and totally messed up your whole speech. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you got on skates one day and fell, if you became NHL pro and then you were one of the all-stars. It doesn't matter. You sucked at one point. Everybody sucks. And in life, there will be certain tasks where you like really don't care about getting better at them, but sometimes there is a reason for you to do it because it's gonna make you better as an entrepreneur. It's gonna make you better in the field you wanna be in, but you really just hate that task. The best thing you can do is just do it and not really care. And then thinking it's just gonna all become way better later, when in reality it becomes 10 years later and you just look back and you're like, wow, I could have been so good at this thing if I just started way sooner, if I just did it when I knew I had to and just gone through that pain. And remember, if you suck at something, you might have to go harder, not softer. Some people go weaker when they suck at something because they're like, oh, I can't get good at this. But in fact, you have to just go harder. That's gonna only make you better, and it's gonna actually show your true potential outside of your bubble. And remember, pain and loss teaches you way more than winning. So if you suck at something now and you're going through that pain, and it's okay if you lost, it's okay if it didn't go the way you wanted, it's gonna teach you way more than the winning part does. And winning only comes from all that pain and suffering and those learning experiences, and it's only the proof that you went through those, it's only proof that you sucked at one point and then actually got better at those and did it more and more. That's what the result of winning is. It's not, you're not gonna win every time, you're not gonna win in the beginning. And life can be comprised of tons of different skills and abilities that we all just have to work on each little one to get better and better at. And there's some that you're never gonna be the best at, and there's some you're gonna be the best at, but it's all about trying to make them at least mediocre and then focusing on what you do good at and then just going for that and then finding someone to help carry you along through the other skills that you just aren't good at, and then they can complement everything that you do because you might also be really good at a skill that they're not. So if you are making this mistake in 2022, let's not make it again in this next year. And this is why I want to make this, it's because you probably spent all year not actually doing the things you sucked at, and you would have been way happier if you just sucked the whole year versus you trying to just sit back and be complacent and not doing anything about it. And you would have been good going into 2023, but you're not. But it's not something to be upset at yourself about. It's just something to acknowledge, say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I messed up. I just didn't do these right things. So now in 2023, you're gonna go all in, you're gonna suck, you're gonna push yourself outside your bubble, and then you're gonna feel way better in 2024. So I hopefully you guys appreciated the video, and I really wish you the best to 2023. I hope everything I said today actually motivated you to just get off your ass and do it instead of caring that you suck, because everybody's gonna suck in the beginning and nobody's perfect. So stop being a perfectionist in the beginning when you just need to start doing those things. You need to do those habits that get you better and better, and then tweak every single one. This is the best thing you can do as a perfectionist, is just get better and better. In time, you probably are gonna be the best if you're a perfectionist, but it's all about about just doing in the beginning and keep going. So leave me a comment down below what your thoughts are, and I love all your support. So if you give me a smash on that like button and also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.